Hello everyone, welcome back to Xobin Talks, where we dive into recruitment, AI in hiring, HR practices, and much more with top HR leaders and experts. I am your host Aman, and today with us is someone who brings deep expertise in people development and organizational culture, Indwin Edwin Joel. Senior Manager, People Development at Anubavam Technologies. Hello, Edwin. Welcome to Xobin Talks. Could you please introduce yourself to our listeners and share a bit about yourself and your background and your journey in this space?
Thanks, Aman, for the wonderful opportunity, and congratulations to Zobin for being facilitating this kind of talks because it gives us an opportunity to speak from our point of view. So that's very wonderful to the entire team of Zobin. See, if you want to know about me, you need to understand my upbringing and the places where I have been and everything. So, when we look at my career span, I'll have more than 15 years of experience. It's into varied sectoral exposure. Born in Nagarkoil, brought up in Delhi and Mumbai, and currently I'm in Chennai. So, there's a vast landscape of journey across. I'm an engineer, then turned HR by accident. So I'll say, like, I'll put it up across, like, I did my schooling in Delhi and Mumbai. So I'm more of a North Indian guy stuck in a South Indian family kind of atmosphere. And it's still I like chole bhature more than my idli and dosa.
Right.
So it's always a mix of atmosphere over here. So in my varied 15 years of journey into the professional space, my upbringing and the cultural diversity I had put in across has been my mentors for anchoring me into this current role I have. So I have worked in diagnostics, healthcare, pharmaceutical, then IT services, then into logistics, shipping, and in social sector as well. Currently, I'm working with Anubavam Technologies. We are a tech firm with professional services wing and into product line. In professional services, we undertake projects for our clients, and in product side, we have a product called as Creatrix Campus, AI-enabled platform for education sector. So when you look at an institution or an university across, you will have a pen and paper model of approach. So instead of a pen and paper model, we will have a digital transformation wherein we look at from the admissions into the alumni management. So entire gamut of the student life cycle or the faculty life cycle or the institutional effectiveness, all those can be mapped in across using our Creative Campus solution.
I'm amazed to know that you have such a vast experience in diverse fields, and literally HRs can get a lot of knowledge out of this podcast. So it's great to have you, Edwin, and we'll start the questioning right now because like we have contacted a lot of HRs and they literally had some doubts. So they have asked us a lot of questions, and we have come up with some questions which are very important in right now because like AI is there, right? So I'll begin with the questions. Cool.
Sure.
Right. So to begin with, when we talk about AI in hiring, Inwin, what does that really means from an HR leader perspective, and how you define it in today's context?
See, we need to understand a business perspective case study over here. Business, we have seen the evolution, the industrial revolutions. If you see the first, second, third, fourth, and we're currently in the fifth revolution across. So with that same journey, the HR's landscape has also evolved, being from an administrative perspective to a transformative journey or a proactive model of approach. So from administrative, we have come into like HR, human resource management, human capital management. Now we have come into a space where everyone is looking at an experience perspective. Like we have customer delight and customer experience. Now the human resource, a lot of organizations have pitched human resource as a people experience team.
Right.
So from that gamut and from the different role opportunities across in HR space itself, from a HR leader's perspective, AI in hiring is an evolution of how organizations can understand talent.
Right.
And across, when you look at global markets, I see AI would facilitate for universal hiring language. See, as an individual, Indwin has grown across in different cities, so he will have a bias towards those people or those towards that culture,
Right.
because I've been having that personal bias across. And likewise, when you look at AI, it will not have that bias because it is structured and evidence based way of evaluating people without any borders, bias, or bottlenecks. To me, AI in HR would be like a transition from our traditional recruitment to intelligent talent orchestration. So how I can look at it, how it looks at it is, it supports early screening and deep role fitment analysis. When you look at any job posting being done, we will have a lot of people applying for that, and it becomes a mundane activity for a recruiter to look at screen how many profiles he can screen. It
Right.
is really inhumane to look at a recruiter to screen around thousands and ten thousands of resumes across. With AI, it's just like a fraction of second, and you get the fitment and the things. Only thing is, are we training the AI model properly? That's a question to ponder over across over here. And then HR needs to look at a human judgment, empathy, and cultural alignment, because these things we will have evolution in AI with these capabilities later stages. Currently these are missing, like the human judgment, empathy, and cultural alignment, which is very critical for any organization. Because पहले आप देखेंगे तो एचआर को बोल देते कि हायरिंग और फायरिंग ही है.
Right.
Abhi, more than that, we are more than the rangolis and the employee engagement activities across. So if a company has to sustain, it has to look at resources, and who better can bring in better resources other than the people team.
Right.
And the blend between globally consistent hiring experience would be the changeover. See, now you will have different governance, different risk management, and different pay scales, but this will bring in atmosphere or a gamut of openings across for various landscape and various opportunities across. Because as someone who has extensively, I am having exposure towards governance frameworks and digital HR systems, I will see AI would be the foundation where we are taking looking at future ready, globally portable talent practices. Because कर लो दुनिया मुट्ठी में.
Right. 100%. And actually, like, I absolutely agree with whatever you have said because, like, previously, what used to happen is that, example, let's say if there is a role which an HR needs to hire, right? So ultimately, they have to literally like thousands of candidates apply for that role, and like HRs has to check thousands of resumes, and they have to shortlist like if the people is or the candidate is right for this particular role or not. So 100% I agree because of which actually in Zobin also we have now utilized AI, completely generative AI. So we have this resume parser where HRs don't have to spend time while seeing the resumes and finding the right candidate. Our resume parser does that thing for you. Even we have AI, agentic AI with this, which directly calls the candidate and checks for the communication of the candidates. So now HRs don't have to one by one manually call the candidates also. So 100% right. And AI is actually transforming the recruitment and HR space. And it's very important for the HRs to adapt it actually, right? So moving ahead to the next question. The next question is AI adoption in recruitment is accelerating, right? So from your experience, what do you see as the most transformative advantages of integrating AI into hiring process?
After answering to your first question, this would be the next transition across. So that's a very good, wonderful question across. And I had seen the Zobin's technology and everything, how you are incorporating AI into the system. So I like the system very much, because I used assessment when we had a opportunity to go for a demo and everything. So that's a wonderful work you guys are doing.
Right.
So I
Thank you so
salute.
much.
Okay, so when we look at advantage thing would happen across with integrating AI would be with regard to like you are now not driven or a region based hiring. You will have borderless recruitment at scale, because company is also looking at a lot of disruptions.
Right.
So how do we look at those capabilities across, or how do we look at different opportunities across? That also is a huge point of opportunity. So it will enable governance and scalability to evaluate candidates across any geography with the standardized processes and assessments, because that's what end of the day we are looking at, assessment and a fitment. And then this is will be critical towards a global economy or a multicultural or a distributed team across, because we will not have a business operation at all the time spheres. So we need to have collaboration across the global counterparts. So that distributed team and everything, that's something that is increasingly becoming the new norm worldwide. So that's one, is that the borderless recruitment at scale. uh, Another one I'll look at is the strategic value creation. Like, who, as someone who has championed digital transformation or digital workflows, I will look at like how AI dashboards or structured hiring systems would transform the HR from operational functional into a strategic intelligent unit. When you look at HR itself now, we have got a table on the board. Only thing is, are we going with the right mindset, and are we going with the right data point? So that is one also very critical. And AI just does not improve hiring; it elevates HR's voice to the leadership table. That's one very thing, because when you look at HR, anybody can become a HR.
Right.
There's no stop to it. Like, from an engineering, HR can come. I am one of the best examples, transiting from a technical to a HR role. You will also have different UG and PG students transcending into the HR role. So if somebody who's not a number crunching guy, AI will give him the capabilities to turn that, what do you say, the threat into an opportunity for him with the utility of AI. And the third one would be the predictive analysis, which the AI systems is operating now. So higher predictive analysis and accuracy. So it will understand a lot of patterns. See, the patterns and everything comes with an experience for a person. We always say, I had a gut feeling. So
Right.
the gut feeling was the data which was there in our mind, and it was very fluid. So this comes down into a system of operation where capability signals or behavioral clues or cognitive abilities, all those things will look at. So are we hiring from either Chennai or Gujarat, or anywhere in India, or anywhere in Berlin or Toronto? That doesn't give a matter, because end of the day we are looking at talent management, talent acquisition, talent retention. And world is a small place to go now. And we are
Right.
also looking at diaspora of gig economy as well. So I think a borderless recruitment at scale, higher productivity, accuracy, and a strategic value proposition for HR.
Right. Absolutely right. Moving to the next question, Inwin, I just wanted to ask you this, like every HR leader is talking about efficiency and accuracy today, right? So how do you think AI-powered assessments and platforms like Xobin, even your company, which is now digitalizing the HR things, right? So how can these platforms help organization in identify the right talent more confidently and more accurately?
See, first thing for any organization to do is they have to understand, is their business requirement towards shifting into a digital transformation. अगर नहीं चाहिए तो जाके इन्वेस्टमेंट करने की जरूरत नहीं है, फर्स्ट थिंग.
Right. Right.
That's the first thing they need to look at the business perspective. And once they understand the need basis, they can go for transformation. So it can scale from a basic automation of task and to an AI automation or an agentic AI utility for making calls or making evaluation. So when you look at global hiring demands, we were looking at consistency. Next, we are looking at fairness and the scalability. So
Right.
three things are very critical: consistency, fairness, and scalability. So AI does that exactly for everyone. So platforms like Xobin will offer, I think, a global grade assessment standard. A standardization can be brought in, which would look at testing frameworks which will benchmark the international standards. See, India will have a different standard. Globally, we'll have to pitch into that standard. So we will looking at a unified benchmark which will help leading organizations to the next level of transformation.
Right.
And this will give them a confidence that candidates shortlisted in our country, India, would also match quality expected in the global market. So first one is global grade assessment standardization. I think the next one I would say like predictive talent insights. See, having a landscape, usually organization will have a skill matrix or a skill analysis done, and they will have a matrix of skill being available in the system. It would have been maintained either on a pen and paper model, a black and white kind of a model. It has now transformed into a digital mode where it is available in an Excel. Now, with AI capabilities into the system, we are looking at how this assessment data can look at future performance signals. Those kind of analytics when we are looking at a global entity or a global market shift. So, a skill based economy is what we are looking at. जिसके पास skill है वही काम पे आएगा, and
Right.
he would only have a sustainability, and he will only have a job opportunity. So that transit essential is very critical. And we are also looking at now, instead of a local, we are also looking at the Indian, what our Indian government has was been also very vocal about is the global terminology. So from
Right.
India to China, or India to US, or India to Russia, whatever be the case. So we are looking at skill based mobility options along with global career pathways across. So
Right.
predictive talent insights would be the second point. I think the third point, we will have hiring intelligence. See, what I will have as a individual, I'll have my own bias into the picture, saying like a North Indian might work or a South Indian might work. So let's not debate about on those principles based on our own personal reflexes and personal diaphragm of experience and thing. So as a practitioner who is looking at the future predictability or future hiring needs or hiring tendencies, or looking at a talent pipeline, I would say uh, AI enabled platforms or like Xobin would should help at global hiring maturity. See, a company will have a different scalabilities. So
Right.
those can also be given from an AI perspective to look at data backed, transparent, and scalable opportunities can be brought in. So three things I will take it like global grade assessment standards. So globalization over there in the standards, then predictive talent insights from the past records which we are maintaining, and structural hiring intelligence.
You're absolutely right. In Zobin, we also believe that global standards are very important, because of which we have a lot of certifications like GDPR, SOC 2 Type 1, SOC 2 Type 2, ISO certificate, and much more. We make sure that your data is secured, and we provide enterprise grade platform to the HR teams so that they can hire the best talents for their organizations. Moving to the next question, one of the biggest concern around AI is hiring is bias. In your views, how can AI-driven recruitment tools actually reduce bias and promote fairer hiring instead of reinforcing existing inequalities?
It's a wonderful question to look at ethical inferences for AI. See, we have been giving our own data to all the telecom companies who have been asking us, please give your number and everything, right? We go to malls, we give our own inferences because they have a chat and they say you put, we will have a, what do you say, a quick round of gifting or something, and we give. We have been confident of giving our data to them. Another best example I can give, I come from a generation where we had postcards. We have written all our numbers,
Right,
everything on
right,
that, and we have used it. We didn't have any fear with that. Now when you're looking at a system, we are having inhibitions towards utilizing it that. So it's a classic case of like we have been hearing from our own childhood is technology a boon or a bane?
right.
That's a classic question which explains like uh, we can put it across also in this way, saying um, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So maybe having a great opportunity there. So it's like what we did for somebody may be a good thing from our perspective. From his perspective it may not. So drawing inferences from the right and the wrong thing, um, I would like to put up like when there is uh, diversity or equity or equality you are looking at, so there has to be some standardization. So that
Right.
will happen over a period of time. And we as I'll say like India is a sovereign nation, and India we have a governance also. So with every fundamental right we are given with a fundamental duty. But a lot of people don't go into the duties. They will say हमारा हक है.
Right.
हक के साथ the next the responsibility also comes. So it's like the Spider-Man thing. With great powers comes great responsibility. So AI is also a system wherein we need to have accountability. Are we using it in the right manner, or are we using it for the wrong thing? Another example, I watch a lot of movies, so I always have the habit of giving a lot of insights from the movies. So it's about I can take like Three Idiots. Farhan and our guy, they were pressurized to go for a college education where they were not interested in that. So it's like if you're going to fit AI into something kind of a model where it's not working out, it's going to give you a wrong result. So are you
Right.
training it for the right reasons? Another example I can talk about equity is about there are a lot of animals and they have a running race. Animals were like elephant, a cheetah, lion, and then there's a bird, and then there's a fish. So the running race itself is not about equity.
Right.
i- it's a different ball game. So drawing from across that, when we're talking about equity in hiring, AI will play an enabler's role on how we use it across. So AI can enforce uniformity if we have a standard in place. Now when you look at governance part, we have ISO 42001, which talks about AI governance across. So how are we handling every candidate across the globe having the same test, so same scoring logic and the same evaluation standards. So if your standards are fixed, then it would be very easy for uniformity. Another thing is AI. When I if I have a profile, I will look at the language, the gender, and the age, and I'll have my own personal bias. But AI will be not viewing it if we are hiding those sensitive identifiers. So nationality, language, gender, age. So AI will help remove these cues in the early screening itself. So those biases can be worked out. Next is AI can also monitor and audit frameworks. So it's an ally and an enabler for building HR systems, which should be transparent, scalable, and auditable, and ethically grounded.
Right.
So this positions HR as the guardian of fairness, not just executors. So we will have like process, people, and planet. Process किसके हाथ में है? HRs for an organization. So
Right.
are we just executing those process, or are we guarding the fairness in those capabilities is also a question mark.
Right.
So accountability, commitment, trustworthy, all those things will come from a human. We can't expect a robot to have all those things because he is made by us for us, and he's not against us unless until we make him against. Best
Right.
examples is 2.0, where the robot was made to think in something different,
Right.
right? So are we using it for the right chip, the red chip or the blue chip?
Absolutely right. Yes. Moving ahead, for organizations that are just beginning their AI transformation in recruitment, what essential tools, strategies, or first step would you recommend they focus on?
See, first thing is rather than focusing mainly on the technology, they need to start with clarity on what is their requirement, what is their problem statement. So they need to map. First thing they need to do is map their talent hiring needs. So with the global maturity, so that what is the screening speed, what is their interview structure, what is the kind of evaluation they are looking at, what is the gaps they are looking to work out from choosing a tool. That's the first step. The second is how are they going to adopt AI? So it can't be like engulfed fully. So it has to go as a small intake. So it would happen like first they can start with like AI doing the resume screening. Then they can go into AI assessments. Then they can look at interview insights or the dashboards and everything, looking at a lot of inferences from this above screening and assessments. Then they can look at AI driven ATS systems, how they are operating across. And with this components, they can start with the one which is creating a highest impact on their business, because end of the day business has to run for them. The third one is they need to build the capabilities, AI capabilities for the HR functionalities. So the people who are going to work on those systems, their capabilities of understanding AI and using technology has to be reinforced. It's about learn, unlearn, and relearn. So AI literacy has to be part and parcel of the HR team in that organization. And more than adapting and learning this technology, they need to also look at change management and the mindset shift, because end of the day it's the mindset that they need to rework. And the third one would be the compliance part, that is like establishing proper governance and ethical frameworks. So ISO and different maturity frameworks they need to work out as per the data privacy. Now with India also mapping into DPDP Act, we need to have that compliance as well. And global fairness practice or grievances and everything needs to be handled across. So
Right.
AI won't be a tool to deploy, it is a capability that needs to be built across for everyone across the system. And two ways you can split it. For any organization, they need to look at two things. One is the quick wins and the long term wins. So quick wins will be running the business, and the next long term wins for them would be changing the business. So running the business is very important to ensure the cash flow is coming in. Change the businesses, how they adopt and evolve and take in AI into their systems.
Right. Right. Even like founders and the CEOs which of the companies like should at least like have AI sessions with the HR teams and other people so that like they are also aware like what they can actually do with the AI. So yeah, moving ahead to the last question, Inwin. Looking ahead, how do you foresee AI shaping hiring models, employee evaluation, and decision making in the next decades? What should HR leaders be prepared of?
See, first thing is people's adaptability and acceptance that AI is going to stay.
Right.
What would be its maturity level, that depends on how do we approach the system. So the biggest shift I will foresee is AI will make hiring very critical, and it's a make and break kind of a system, very thin line. So first one will be like skill first and borderless. So roles will not be defined, any organization will not be defined by geography. So AI will match talent opportunities globally across. See, you will have hirings for roles which are not existing, or the people might have not been interested. So the latent and the potential candidates would also be routed across with AI, depending on its capabilities in the future. So first is skill first and borderless. Second, I would say is we're looking at a performance management system, right? So people will have it either the end of the year or in between 6 months or in a quarter basis. So this assessment or continuously evaluation will be done by AI. So AI will support ongoing talent insights, the learning agility, cultural alignment, performance predictors, or future inclinations across the entire employee life cycle. So it will have a transformation hit on the employee experience across. And then it we are now looking at a space where I'll take you to the basics, like when we connect it across to Maslow's theory, people needs are different changed. When I had to look at when my I'll cite it like this way. My dad had worked with the government agencies and he had retired from the same agency. 32 years of long service with the same organization. When you look at my profile in LinkedIn, people or my friends do laugh at my profile saying you have jumped into different opportunities across. So my career, they will tag me as a hopper, or I have difficulty putting across my own profile to my fellow traditional HRs, because they are in the mindset of saying the longevity will define your credibility. It's
Right.
not the case now. I come from expertise, not I'll not say expertise. I'll come from a generation where I wanted to explore a lot of industries so that I'll be able to equip and handle situation which may happen in the future. It's about how much risk you are ready to take. So hyper personalization will also be happening.
Right.
One thing can't fit everyone, right? So when you look at any restaurant, you will not have a standard um, dishes or something. You will have different dishes across, because we need to look at different genre of people utilizing it, from the
Right.
kid to the adult. So there's a different taste. So that same thing has to be looked into the employees or the candidates journey across. So depending on behavior, capabilities, their needs, their personalization, so this will be deep rooted into, and AI will help in understanding those needs across. Because if I go and ask, it'll people will be very shy out to talk about. But when you have a survey or something being taken across from their past data, it would be easy to look at inferences. The fourth one will be deeply ethical and regulated governance can be brought in. So future HRs need not only look at HR audits, but also need to be preparing ourselves for AI audits, model transparency, and bias governance. Because end of the day, it would be how compliance frameworks are operating now. The same this AI related audits and governance also has to be looked into, because as a HR we have a lot of personalized data for every candidate, and it's very critical to have a governance, to have a proper framework to safeguard the public interest.
Right, 100% right. Actually, like AI is very helpful actually. People think that it's not right, it's like taking our data and other thing, but it's very helpful if we use it in the right way. And 100% I agree with whatever you have said, and it's a very informative like discussion which we had today. So thank you so much, Edwin, for joining us today, and thank you so much for all the listeners over here. We'll also add Edwin's LinkedIn profile and other profiles with you so that you can just ping him if you have any doubts. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much, Edwin, for your time.
Thank you, Aman, and the entire team of Xobin for the wonderful opportunities. Good luck to the entire team, and to the happy listeners. Please do connect and with me and Aman. And if you have any requirements or anything, feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you so much.